Hey everybody, it's Kim from Bookmarks and Breadsticks. Today, I'm really just here to give you a quick life update. I am quickly approaching my 1-year anniversary on BookTube, and that's so exciting. I wanted to let you guys know I'll be having a live show on Friday, May 7th, and I would love for you guys to leave any comments or questions you have for me down in the comments below. Any burning questions you want to ask me, and if someone asks me what my favorite book is, guys, we're never going to get that answer. But yeah, I'm excited to celebrate with you guys. I also wanted to let you know that I have a second live show. Feasting Females will be back the weekend of May 22nd, and we will be talking about the new book, Crying in H Mart. Now, if you haven't heard of this book, it just came on sale and its publication date was just this past week on April 20th. So if you haven't read the book yet, never fear. We are actually going to be discussing the article in the New Yorker, Crying in H Mart, that inspired this full memoir. It's written by the same author, obviously. I'll actually link in the description box below the article so that you can read and hopefully come to the discussion and come with questions and have a really great lively discussion with us. So those are the two live shows coming up in the month of May. I also have a fun buddy read going on where I will be reading Sour Hearts with Margaret Pinard. I will also link her channel down below. So I've got a buddy read, a live show with Feasting Females round 2, a live show to celebrate my 1-year BookTube anniversary, and just your regular old book reading as well. But I should make a heads up that I will be probably missing in action from the weekend of May 15th. Why? Because we might actually be finally moving into our new home. If you've been on my channel for a little while, you've probably heard me mention in past videos, or at least when I'm talking about bookshelves, that I'll be moving into a new house. It has been a journey, and I have special thanks to my bookish friends out here on Instagram, on BookTube, on Discord channels who have been so kind in listening to me throughout this journey. Quarter one has not been easy for me. If you've been around this channel before, my dad passed away from pancreatic cancer January 2nd, so that was really hard. It's still really hard. And then in February, Dan and I had been engaged since January 1 of 2019, and we had been planning our wedding for September of 2020 originally, and then we moved it to August of 2021 because of COVID, obviously. We did have a small wedding in September, so my dad could be there, walk me down the aisle. It was a very small, intimate wedding, but we still wanted to have the party with our friends. And in February, I found out that the venue that we had planned our wedding at was closing, and they took all of our money. We are not the only bride and groom to lose our money. But because we'd been planning this wedding for so long, we had a longer engagement because my dad was going through chemotherapy, and I guess we were hoping that he'd be better in time for the wedding. You know, we continued to make payments towards our wedding and chip away at it. And then found out in February we weren't going to have a wedding because the venue was gone. And they took over $12,000 from us. And some of that money was from my dad. He helped pay for my wedding. So that was a real kick in the fucking teeth, 4 weeks after my dad passed away, and I find out that the wedding venue's just a bunch of scoundrels, and they've taken it. The positives are that we did get married in September, and that I still have my husband, obviously. That's the most important thing, is my family and my husband. And that my dad was there to walk me down the aisle. And I wouldn't trade that for the world. But it's still hard. It's still really hard. At this point, it's with the Attorney General. I'm not the only bride that's been impacted. We've been working with credit card companies to try and get the charges reversed. It's ongoing. So I don't really anticipate the money coming back, but if it does, that's great. And then finally, the house. So back in November, Dan and I put an offer down on a house back in New York. I'm currently in Chicago. And I wanted to get a house in New York because I didn't know how long the pandemic was going to keep going. And I wanted to be closer to my dad and to my friends. And I might have known even back then that my dad wasn't going to get better. Pancreatic cancer has an average lifespan of 5 years. And Dad was on year 2. And in the last 6 months at the end, he'd been in the hospital way more than ever before. So maybe I knew deep down that time was limited. So we put an offer in November, and they accepted, and it was reasonable within our budget. And pretty much the last of like our savings went to the down payment of that house, and my dad helped with it, and they accepted. And it's COVID, so we've actually never seen this house in person. Our realtor walked around with a Zoom call so that we could see it. It was really fun in all things considering. And the following week we drove home to see my parents for Thanksgiving, and we drove across the country to see them because of COVID. I didn't want to go through an airport. I was afraid I'd get Dad sick. So we got tested, then we drove. And I was able to show him pictures of the house. And he was really relieved and really proud. But he was relieved because he always wanted to make sure we were taken care of. And I felt like I'd accomplished something really big for myself and for Dan. Because we've both, put ourselves through our master's programs, and we were building a life together. We were married, and we were going to have a house. And then January rolls around, Christmas, Dad's rapid decline. And the realtors and the bank were gracious with me because I was grieving. I needed some time. But one of the things that caused a complication was that my dad had helped pay for the deposit. Again, my dad had saved a long time to be able to help us. And over a certain dollar amount, banks consider deposits gifts, a gift. And I had to verify that check, even though it cleared in November. And it's a really, really fucked up thing to have to explain to a bank. I don't know how to verify a bank account for someone who's died. I mean, we had to wait for a death certificate to prove that he wasn't around and that bank account had been his. And it was really screwed up. It was really hard to get on these calls and have to explain the story again and again, that he wrote the check and then a month later he had died. So we finally worked through all that, and we closed on the house in February, and they sent an agent to us in Chicago to fill out all the legal paperwork. The sellers of the house had they're building a house, which good for them, cool. They have one child, another on the way, so they needed a bigger house. And they said, hey, our house isn't done yet because of COVID. Could we rent our place back from you? It's called a post-occupancy agreement. Essentially, they would continue to stay in the house till April 4th, paying the mortgage. Dan and I are here in Chicago, and our lease is here till May. So we thought, oh my God, this is perfect. We won't have to pay rent and mortgage at the same time. And we enter in this agreement, and there's a clause that, hey, if you need to extend, we need 2 weeks notice because there's a moving truck here that's scheduled, and we need to reschedule it and not pay fines. And, our lease is up here in May. And the 4th rolls around, and they haven't left. I'm talking to you guys, it's April 22nd, and there are 2 people sitting in my house, our house, for free, while I'm paying a mortgage. So my current lawyer, who helped us close the house, had been helping us. But it's not her area of expertise. Agents, attorneys have different specialties. Like how there's a divorce lawyer and there's like child custody lawyers and wills and stuff. So just this last week, we had to hire a second lawyer, a litigation lawyer. And I'm basically like almost in a lawsuit to get people out of a home that they sold to me, that I have legally owned since February 14th. So it's been a lot. It's been stressful. Every lunch break or every morning, I'm on a call with a lawyer. It's a lot of extra money to pay for a second lawyer to reschedule your moving truck. And my dad would be the person I'd call when I needed help. My dad was a big, gruff, scary Persian man, and he's the one who sometimes I think people would think it's aggressive, but my dad knew how to fight for himself and advocate for himself, and advocate for me. So if I've learned anything the past couple of months without him, it's that I'm stronger than I think, and that I can be aggressive and be mean when I need to. I mean, it shouldn't sound like I need to be mean. Filing a lawsuit against someone sounds like it's mean, but they're the squatters who are sitting in my house and haven't left. So if all goes well, we will be moving into our house in May. Either way, May 15th, our lease is up here and we need to move. We'll essentially either have our home or be homeless. So moving truck's coming. We're taking off from work, and we have a backup plan. If we can't get into our house, we will put everything in storage and then drive back to Long Island to stay with my mom. Or we'll rent an Airbnb for however much time we need and stay in Buffalo. But I mean, that's hard. That's extra, credit card charges and financials, and it's scary. Or ultimately, hopefully, we're in our house, or the lawsuit might still be ongoing. So, yeah, that's what my first quarter's been like. And I just need a little time away. So I'll do the live show on May 7th, and then I'm going to take a break and probably come back for Feasting. I will be back for Feasting Females. But, if my content schedule takes a dip, I hope you guys understand. I am trying to film a couple things to bank out content so that there isn't a gap, but I think you guys will understand. Yeah. So that's been my life so far in 2021, on top of, the global pandemic. And I don't know if everyone realizes how the pandemic impacts people that are sick. I mean, we couldn't have a funeral for my dad because of what was going on. So essentially he passed away, and I went into a fight or flight mode and helped schedule his cremation. And then I had to leave. I had to go back to work. And I haven't seen my sisters or my mom since. Now I'm fully vaccinated. Today makes 2 weeks after my second dose, so I can finally see them. It's been really hard. But even at the hospital, we weren't supposed to be able to see him because of COVID. And they snuck us in that night because I think the nurses knew he was dying. And I just want you guys to hug your families for me. Be grateful that you have them. And thank you for being my family right now. I know we all live in a digital world, and we probably all miss our physical friends, but making content and watching your reactions and watching this community grow has been a lot of fun and really good for me. And I'm so, so grateful to you all. But I think I need a little break. So I will see you soon. Be well, wear a mask. Even after you're vaccinated, wear that mask. And I'll see you in the next one.